Come with me, let's make breakfast for Saturday morning. So today we're going to be making okpa, which is commonly made from bambara groundnut seeds. So these are my ingredients. We have my okpa flour, we have red oil, red pepper, and salt only. I'm not going to be adding anything else but this. So I went on to run my red oil under hot water just to melting it because it's usually frozen because of the weather we have here. I went on to wash my red pepper with salt, running it under running water just to make sure that it is properly washed and properly clean for me to use. I removed the stalks and I rinsed it again for the second time just to be sure that my pepper is thoroughly washed. Yes, so I went ahead to dice the pepper into bits. I love to, dice it. I don't like to grind it while making okpa because I love to see the pepper, the red pepper in the okpa. That is the color and that is the flavor of this okpa because we're not using any spice at all. We're not adding any maggi, any crayfish because okpa has got its own natural taste. So we don't want to remove it by adding all of that apart from pepper and salt only. So I went on to dice them, dice as many quantity. You want it to be spicy. So you need to add enough red pepper as you can, but not excess. Just make sure you're adding enough red pepper just to get the flavor. Then I went on to boil some hot water because I'll be using warm water to stir it to mix it up. You don't use cold water because it gets to form lump. So you need warm water to dissolve it, to mix it. I added some bit of red oil. I added some more after that red oil, that drop you saw. Then I went on to combine everything, making sure that I combined it thoroughly. At this point, you need to stir very well because you want the red oil color to touch on every part of the flour. If not, some parts will be white and some parts will get the main color you want. So you need to stir very well and you do this with your hand. You can't use a spatula or anything to mix this. So at this point I added some salt for taste and you need to combine it when it is dry. You need to put that salt because at this point it is dry, so you need to add the salt at this moment and then stir very well. Added some more water. you know at this point I was trying to use my spatula. I added some more water as well just to combine very well. So you can use your spatula to stir and stir it very well, but just mind you need to use your hand at some point. So this is the point I started to use my hand because at this point once you add water you begin to notice the clumps. you know it becomes clumpy like lumps. So that is how buffalo does. It's always like that. And I think it's because when you add the red oil and to the flour, it just form lumps. So that's why you need warm water. If you use cold water, you won't achieve what you want because you're going to have lumps all over your upper. So you need warm water. So while you're doing this, you're dissolving it as well. So that is what I did for a long time. You need to keep doing this for a long time. Wash your hand thoroughly and begin to combine the flour and the water. Begin to combine it. Make sure your hand is thoroughly washed. Then at this point I was done, dissolving the lumps. So I added some more water and I was trying to combine everything together to bring them together. Make sure you dissolve everything and then keep stirring. Stir. There was already salt in it and major things. So I added the fresh pepper that I would be using and then I stirred one more time. Just make sure you stir to combine very, very well. To combine the flour very, very well so that the ingredients will not be on one side. Just make sure you keep stirring. I tasted for salt and then I added some more water, checking the texture. Then I added some dry pepper because you want it to be spicy. That's the flavor of okpa. You need it to be spicy. So that's the only thing I use. There was no maggi, no crayfish, no other spices. I went on to boil hot water. That was my hot water boiling. while I was still combining. So I need to put the okpa in the boiling water, not cold. So I kept wrapping them up in nylon. So this is number one. And then I went ahead to keep, pouring the paste in nylon just to get as many quantity as I want. You can see how beautiful the looks, while it's already in the paste form. It looks really nice and it looks good. So this is the texture you want to achieve. You don't want it to be too watery, like you don't want to add too much water. If you add too much water, it will be too watery. If you don't add too much water, it will be too strong and it will not be what you want. So I went ahead to drop them in the water. I have to shake each of them first so as to circulate the pepper I put in it and the salt, anyway, just to make it go around. Now I'm done. So while my okpa is on the fire, I will go ahead to wash my plates, the bowls, to tidy up, to make sure that everywhere is tidy and clean. Don't forget, like I said, make sure you don't add too much water to your okpa flour. It will become moi if you add too much water. And if you do not add enough water and get the right texture, it will be too hard for you to eat. So it's no longer okpa flour. I don't know what it is, but you will not like the texture of what you have done. So make sure as while you are combining, you're checking the texture. Many people find it hard to get the right texture for okpa because if you add so much water, you might end up making something else. You will not get the right texture that you want for your okpa. So that's why it's kind of a problem. But you just have to be careful with the water you add, because the moment you've added excess water, you've spoiled it. And the moment you don't add enough water as you should, you'll be getting something else and it will be too hard and you will not actually like the okpa. So you just need to add the right quantity of water for your okpa. Just be careful with it. Just make it like a paste and then you get the right texture that you want. So now my okpa is ready. This is what we made here. It looks good. Looks nice. Honestly, it does. And this looks really, really nice. So I served it with custard, with powdered milk and liquid milk in it. Guys, you needed to taste this okpa.